teams come up.
The Scottish back with changes in it. Chris Bossaro winning his first cap at open side in place of the dropped Kelly Brown, the captain. One of 3 changes in the Scottish team. Matt Scott gets the nod ahead of Duncan Taylor in the centre, and although Sean Maitland is missing through injury and was replaced during the Ireland match by Tom Evans, it's Tommy Seymour, once of Ulster, who scored a try for Ireland under 19 against Scotland in the World Championship once upon a time, who gets the vote on the right wing. As for the English, well, it's an unchanged lineup and a big strong pack there, and watch out for Billy Vunipola at number 8. But then behind the scrum, of course, they've got talent aplenty and an exciting back 3 in Danny Kerr, Johnny May, Jack Noel and Mike Brown. On the bench, experience aplenty for the Scots, but for the English, well, not so much in the way of experience, but nonetheless it's a lineup that Stuart Lancaster feels will do him proud. He made his debut as the England coach in this fixture 2 years ago, and they won. The referee we saw there is Jérôme Garcez from France, ready to get this game underway. The 132nd edition of the Calcutta Cup. The countdown to the kickoff. Well, they couldn't do more in terms of atmosphere, could they?
Well, there's always a massive atmosphere here when Scotland hosts the old enemy England, and the emotions just rack up a few notches or two as England starts strong with Vunipola.
Vunipola at number 8.
Outside.
For the men in white.
Outside.
Danny Kerr just on his 22. And a kick over the top. And a really strong bullocking run there to get started. And Scotland, unfortunately for them, into touch on the full. A mistake by Duncan Weir. And the line out comes back to almost halfway.
Well, it was a good opportunity for Scotland. Denton taking that over-kicked box kick and had a chance to run back at England. But the English line out, of course, such a source of strength last week. Dylan Hartley, 90% of his throws successful, and that will cause problems for Scotland this afternoon.
And there's another successful throw. Courtney Lawes in the middle of that line out for England. And Danny Kerr away. Scotland are going to make the tackles hit and count. Hogg bravely in. Make sure for Scotland. Laidlaw. And already you can see the pitches cutting up under no great pressure at all, which might be a factor in this game. Fielded there by Jack Noel. Now look for the break. Ball's in touch. Scrappy, which might suit Scotland better. If England get the chance to play their structured game, Scotland could be in trouble. It's in their interest for it to be broken up.
Well, that's the very game plan that England should be adopting. A far less open game this weekend is required. I mean, today, above all else, England need to set down a marker, and that would have been the case even before the Ireland result earlier today. They need to banish the memories of last week when really they had France on the rack but didn't have the ruthlessness to put them away when they had the opportunity. So Owen Farrell today needs to put his team in position a bit more to unleash that juggernaut pack of his.
Hogg comes forward, is bounced away in the air, but it's gathered in by Ryan Wilson, but the referee has seen offside there, penalty to England.
Yeah.
And an opportunity for Owen Farrell to put England on the scoreboard at this early stage. They conceded early in France, and given the opposition a big start in their last 2 matches against France and before that against New Zealand, and came back only to lose ultimately. They will be very wary of giving Scotland any sniff of success at all.
Well, Scotland had to make more tackles than any other team in round 1 last week. And they may have to do more today because France did just about enough to hang on to England for large portions of the game, particularly in the second half last week in Paris, and just got caught with that sucker punch at the end. But whether Scotland are strong enough to keep that up for the entire 80 against this English side. And Farrell, whose kicking ratio hasn't been fantastic over the last 12 months, needs to slot this.
So when Farrell then. Well, you said it, Ralph. That is an astonishing and an atrocious miss. England should be in front, but they're not.
Well, you know, he had an 80% ratio last week, but last season he missed 7, which was more than any other, and that was a gimme. That was food and drink for any place kicker at this level, notwithstanding the being away from home and the atmosphere and all that. These players are well used to that, and those little misses can just creep into a side psychologically.
Was there a suggestion that he might have lost his footing?
Well, you know, he's been on the pitch an hour before the game, understanding the texture of the ground underfoot.
He missed it anyway. It's a let-off for Scotland as England come again. Billy 12 trees. Scotland attempting to make it messy, and it's arm out for a knock forward, advantage to Scotland. Now, can they go anywhere? Back with Laidlaw, and his kick straight down the throat of the Englishman. That Englishman, this fullback Mike Brown. Danny Kerr. Farrell. And now the captain, Chris Robshaw. An advantage to England. Didn't roll away.
Well, it's all a bit frantic in the opening minutes, and suiting Scotland to a large degree, because England are offloading at will again, like they did in the early stages last week. But turning over a bit of ball, a bit scrappy. Farrell now with the opportunity to go down the line, set that platform for the set piece. The English line out, of course, such a high return from that set piece for them, and when you consider they're without Corbisiero, the likes of Jeff Parling and Tom Croft, and can still call on the strength and depth of this powerful pack.
Dylan Hartley steadies himself. Taken by Tom Wood. Hartley arrives to join in as Scotland try to get motoring, but the advantage has been given to England yet again. It's disciplined by Scotland, attempted to drop a goal, and that's there. And England lead 3-0, and Danny Kerr, just as he did in Paris, drops a goal and makes up for the miss by Farrell.
And just as he did last week in Paris when the penalty was coming as well, a snapshot. What a cheeky effort, and never going anywhere but between the sticks. But, the penalty was coming anyway, as you suggested, George, but important lead for England, 3-0.
Now they've gone ahead finally after the miss by their standoff Owen Farrell.
Back feet, 7 blue.
Hartley leading the charge for England. Kerr steadying himself for a kick over the top. Denton coming onto it and managing to take it well and offer some possession for Scotland here. Laidlaw. There's Ryan Wilson. And Laidlaw opting to go back in there again. Taken on by Ryan Grant. Fortunate for Scotland there. And a kick by Duncan Weir. It's a better one. Giving Scotland some advantage in terms of the territory. And another line out to England.
Well, it's a good kick. He found the space, and there was the white line, defensive line up in his peripheral vision, and he was right to put it in behind. Last week against Ireland, they had a lot of ball in the opening 20-25 minutes, but didn't do a whole lot with it, and kept trying to breach the Irish defensive line and couldn't do it. But on that occasion, at the very least, puts it in the English 22.
And again, a fine execution of the line out by England.
Fine blue.
England just controlling it at their will. Danny Kerr shouting the instructions.
Play on. The white.
Well, there it is. The Kerr gets Jim Hamilton. Perhaps a little lackadaisical there. And Scotland attempt to affect the turnover. And England have somehow managed to protect it. Hartley picking it out. And penalty to Scotland.
Latching 2 blue, white.
Hartley penalised.
Well, as Scotland have done down through the ages, they're making the breakdown a raging battle and competing for everything on the ground. And get the penalty. He surely will look to, well, is he looking to the post, waiting for the kicking tee? You would think he'd be trying to take every opportunity to hang on to England's coattails on the scoreboard, and that's exactly what he's about to do, or to attempt.
Scored Scotland's only points at the Aviva last week. Hartley was the one who was judged to have gone in the wrong way, not through the gate, as Courtney Laws had taken the possession on, and so it's given Greg Laidlaw the chance to put Scotland on the scoreboard. He scored all 6 points, not much in return last week in Dublin. His first shot at goal, and
22.
Another lack of success.
Well, he's pulled it, and again a poor return last week in Dublin. 67% return from his kicking, normally so solid, and just failing to take that opportunity to get back level.
Taken in there by Tommy Seymour and Laidlaw. Denton charging forward. Laidlaw back to Weir.
Stay 9!
And Weir, as the chunky figure of Sean Lamont comes up, fielded by Brown. And that's one tackle missed by Ryan Wilson. But Fusaro in there makes the hit. But England still with the possession. The kind of missed tackle that's Scotland have been left to rue. Underneath this is Stuart Hogg. And he's the danger man from the back three for Scotland, but he's stopped in his tracks there. Laidlaw, Lamont. Jim Hamilton, sizable bulk with a big Montpellier on second row.
No.
And Laidlaw's kick over the top, and Hogg is up in chase. Denton's underneath it too. Hogg is there to take it in, but is immediately driven back. Scotland slow to respond. Jim Hamilton once again.
Back feet, White.
Denton once again. Little look for Laidlaw. And another kick from the scrum half. And on it is Snow. And Lamont gets him, offload there to Kerr. And Scotland looking a bit more lively there, and forcing England to work a bit harder to retain and protect that possession. Back to Farrell. Second unforced error. Went backwards, but he did not look at all assured under that. And that kick hasn't found touch, and it's David Denton. And Denton loves to run and barge his men out of the way. And the crowd love to see that too. Didn't release.
Well, a bit unfortunate there from Scotland's point of view. Great take again from Denton. He's taken a few high balls in the air while running onto them. Did brilliantly there, and he just bowled through Dylan Hartley, who's still rather dazed, I think, and England perhaps lucky to get away with that.
Yeah, I pay an advantage.
Farrell's kick finds the touch.
Well, Farrell just taking the eye off the ball, managed to find Billy 12 trees,
Stay on the mark.
and you could see he had his eye on the touchline already, picking his spot. Of course, he shouldn't ever do that.
Hartley again.
More form.
England making progress. Not evident from that angle, but they made 10 metres. And an advantage to England again. Kerr. Clever little ball through there. 12 crease wasn't impeded.
5 from the side.
But advantage was being played. The initial penalty given against Jim Hamilton for coming in from the side. He's complaining that there might have been an obstruction there, but the penalty was coming anyway. It's an advantage to England. Farrell is going to put it into touch.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. No problem, George.
Well, it's a good kick down the line from the number 10. And again, another golden chance for England to get their line-out functioning and get a bit of pace
Six blue.
and fluidity, continuity in the danger area.
Front this time. England aggressive. Launchbury joining in. It's on the Scottish 5-metre line. Kerr. Have a little break, a chance in here, and they've scored. Burrell did it in Paris. And England get their first tries from him as well.
Well, it was the power play, George, from the line out. A bit scrappy it looked at times, perhaps, but they had momentum, they had possession. And when Danny Carr goes on the run, well, he can see Burrell coming in on a great angle, makes the line, but the Scottish defence flat-footed. You can see Duncan Weir getting caught there, could do very little about it. And England off to the dream start.
So 3 points for Kerr, have had the addition of 5 by Burrell. Scored on his debut in Paris. Exciting try, and not much less exciting about that. And Scott Johnson looks at forlorn already as Owen Farrell prepares to attempt to add the points with his second kick at goal, the first having gone wildly wide. It's better. Straight between the uprights, and England are in double figures. 10-0.
Well, he struck that a lot better, but ominous signs for Scotland when, with England's only second serious visit to the Scottish 22, they waltz in straight up the middle with Burrell. All too easy for England on that occasion, albeit off good line-out play.
And Scotland forced to restart. It's a penalty to Scotland, might get some points on the board. But interesting to note that
One white.
that try in this fixture is a rare thing. There's only one try in the last 4 meetings here at Murrayfield, and that was a while ago. Charlie Hodgson scored it for England. England have got another try now. Scotland have got to do something they haven't done in their last 3, which is try to get something across the whitewash, because they're really not scoring tries at all. Haven't scored a try in their last 3, Scotland.
Yeah, got that too.
10 points behind, but a chance to wipe out 3 of those now. Laidlaw once more.
And he needs to be taking these, George. 10-0 down against England, opening 15-16 minutes. You need to get your points on the board to try and hang on.
Well, that's just curling away and has hit the upright. 0 return from 2 kicks at goal from Greg Laidlaw.
And 2, kickable kicks really, and there's a huge difference. 10-6 would give them encouragement. 10-0, knowing the psychological blow to the pack, particularly when for all their efforts, nothing on the board.
Denson once again. Laidlaw. England firm in the tackle. Laidlaw once more. Now it's Weir. Weir shoots the inside to Scott, and now it's the right wing, Tommy Seymour. Laidlaw once again. And Scotland bouncing off those tackles, but it's there for Laidlaw once more. Through the hands of Wilson. They haven't really made any ground, Scotland. Retaining possession but going backwards. So Weir attempts the kick over the top again, but this time it's not successful.
No, stay.
And it's returned with interest by Johnny May. Duncan Weir. Line out to Scotland.
You were coming forward a little. Stand up. 6 blue. On the line, blue. 6.
England's line out one again. And Danny Kerr. And now it's Farrell. Swiftly along the line. Involve the fullback Brown.
Red form.
England
Red
win the
form.
penalty.
Offside.
Scotland
11 blue.
offside.
Red form. You kick the ball. The work is formed.
Offside against Sean Lamont.
Well, he's picking Lamont up on being offside. He is too. He kicks it back on his own side. And that's needless penalty to give away. And should Farrell slot this one? Well, suddenly 20 minutes in and 13-0 down. It's already a mountain to climb.
A needlessly given away penalty. And this is from a kind of distance that should be straightforward for Owen Farrell, who passed 200 points for England in Paris last Saturday night. A little further out than the previous successful one. For the angle of some 40-odd metres. Well, he's pulled that one too. Let off for Scotland.
Well, he's not happy, and you could see he's leaning back a bit as he strikes the ball, rather than being over the ball and driving through it, and that's just pulling them away to the left a bit.
Scotland up to disrupt. Kerr, Farrell, 12 threes. Kerr wanted quick ball and he got it. Can he pull up? Courtney Laws there assisting. Kerr working the short side. Kerr foraging. 12 threes. Strong runner. Made the tackles count. Fusaro involved there. Kerr again. Farrell. Went forward.
Well, that was fortunate for Scotland. It was only a fingertip away from putting Burrell away, but Scotland get the put in, just delaying the pass slightly, and obviously came off Burrell's fingertips.
Yeah.
Well, you could see he was unsighted at the last second and just couldn't hold on to it, but he was gone if he held that pass.
Well, early in the game to be hearing that singing, ringing around Murrayfield and upsetting the Scottish crowd, but it's been a first quarter of English dominance, that's for sure. An untidy game, inefficient kicking on both sides, but England lead 10-0. Take it up, do it again.
Well, I think, George, the English crowd in particular get a sense that, you know, England are winning all the big collisions, and their powerful runners are making big inroads this early in the game. And almost a sense that a score or two, a penalty or a try, would see them just pull away.
Keep working, guys. Bring your legs forward.
Ready to go again. So the new scrum regulations, meaning there's less impact on the collision, and the signal to the scrum half to put it in. Seeking purchase in that unsatisfactory surface, and Scotland did well to get the penalty as England came in from the side.
Well, they did well. They did well to win it because their scrum was being absolutely dismantled
from the side.
And the referee Garces sees an English infringement coming in the side. But the Scottish scrum is being pummeled there.
A relief in the clearance kick. A line out for Scotland inside the English half. Duncan Weir puts it away. Just nothing really going right for Scotland in this first half.
stay here, White.
Yes, sir. Go dry.
Ross Ford for Scotland, to Denton at the back. David Denton seems to be the only one who can take the challenge to England. Picked out by Laidlaw. Alex Dunbar setting up that ruck. Laidlaw taken on by Morillo. And Laidlaw and Weir and Denton once again. Power and determination from the Edinburgh number 8. Laidlaw. Now the kick from Hogg. Curls away and at least brings Scotland to a position near the English 22.
Well, that's the best they can muster, and the English defence is very good. The line speed from the English line is excellent, and it's forcing Scotland to kick the ball away eventually. They just cannot find any gaps whatsoever.
Body's in. Body's out, eh?
The referee sees the ball. We get a chance to see it too from this angle. Kept in play there by Johnny May. But despite the tackles flying in, England retained the possession. Courtney Laws.
No!
Picked up by Tom Wood.
Ready, blue! No, no!
Kerr. And that's the captain, Chris Robshaw.
Six!
And Kerr. Scotland instantly under pressure again. Attempt to make some use of it, but again the big English tackle knocks him back.
Advantage, White.
And there's an advantage being played to
Advantage
England,
over.
which is now over as Hogg comes across but can't keep it in play, and England are right back where they can hurt Scotland again.
And all from a massive tackle from Joe Marler, hammering in, making sure the turnover was won, and Danny Kerr able to put it down deep into the Scottish 22.
Scotland on the back foot again.
Stay here. Me too.
Battle-hardened Warriors ready for another contest. Over the head of Hamilton, untidy. England win the Scottish line-out through imprecision on the home team's part. And here they come. Johnny May. Almost at the 5-metre line. Kerr wants it. The urgency about England. They know Scotland are there for the taking. Kerr, Farrell, taken on by Wood. Through the tackle of Wilson.
Red form! Penalty advantage.
A penalty advantage to England again. Scotland defending desperately and infringing regularity. A little chip through, attempted to find a way through, but of course it won't work because the advantage will come back for a penalty for England.
Yeah, but what was Jim Hamilton doing? He's I think that's the third penalty he's given away already, and the penalties are mounting now for England, and can't be far away from a yellow card. Again, good line out, solid line out. Turnover, and Danny Kerr finding the width in the game, and Johnny May pounding the legs, driving it forward, and it's all one-way traffic for England when they're in contact. And surely Farrell will just slot this one to ease that lead out to 13 points.
Scotland, what can they say to each other? Is there at all a way back from this? Flags go up. Farrell has added 3 more points. It's Scotland 0, England pulling away now, 30.
And any time they visit the Scottish 22, they're coming away with points, which should be a flag to Farrell to put him down there as often as possible. And you know, they've got to learn to go for the juggler a bit and put teams away. They should be doing it from a position of this strength, even 29 minutes into the game.
For blue!
Taken by Vunipola.
Ball is here.
George Lancey had a very good look to see where they out of play, and they were.
Eight.
Billy Vunipola, the Sydney half of the brothers, the other born in Wellington and New Zealand, both in the England 23. And Billy starting at number 8, and Scotland winning their lineup, and now with Matt Scott. Laidlaw, this time at Dunbar.
7 white.
Laidlaw puts England up so fast. Courtney Laws it was that time. The ball off the feet of the referee. The referee saying
Sorry about.
it's accidental involvement by the referee. The advantage was to England, so they get the put into the scrum.
Well, that's a marked difference between both sides. The speed of defensive line, England flying off that line to make the tackles, making sure they're not letting Scotland any forward foot whatsoever.
Time off. Sorry.
Just stop the clock for a moment as a refreshment break is offered to both teams. We'll resume with the scrum to England.
Keep working. Keep working.
Referee's unintentional involvement, but it is a feature of the England game as to how they're up so fast on Scotland. But this was the try. He's never going to stop him from that short distance. 2 caps, 2 tries. Luther Burrell.
Let's go, Marla.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Ready.
Vunipola, his feet acting like a plough on that
Use it.
uneven surface, and now picking up the ball and making some ground.
Last now. Play on.
Farrell
Sorry, Greg.
varying the approach with the Gary Owen. Hogg came, it's gone backwards and out.
No. Blue touch the ball. White. Line out.
England line out.
The blue push the ball. White.
Not even that went right for Scotland. Hogg went up to try and catch it. He was last to touch it, so it's England's line out.
Numbers. 7 blue.
Straightforward for a take for Courtney Laws.
No hands there, blue.
It's taken forward by Rob Shaw. Now Kerr. This time it's Laws. Wood now. Hartley joins in. Kerr, Farrell, England just making the ground. Dropped by Burrell, picked up by Wilson. Ryan Wilson for Scotland. Arm out for the advantage to the Scots. Away forward by Dunbar.
The advantage blue.
Still advantage to Scotland as Seymour tries to make ground. Now it's Mornay Lowe.
Advantage over.
For once Scotland didn't need the advantage. A big kick has landed in the England 22. It's not going to go over the goal lines. Head kicked away by Mike Brown. And Scotland pushed back, but not quite so far. But Pang fielded the ball. They're taking the line out quickly. Lamont making ground into touch. But better from Scotland. And they finally got a foothold in English territory.
Well, anyway, they can get to speed up the game is what they need, and it was quick into Hogg, and Lamont just failing to get there, but good cover from Noel as well.
No, wait. So, open the gap first. Open the gap first.
Tom Wood is studying concentration. Care away. Denton is called for it. And Noel stopped him. And the tackler didn't roll away. It's a penalty.
Release.
Jack Noel.
13 Frenchman.
New
Tackler
England
must
right wing.
release. Before the number 8 contest. 14 white.
Duncan Weir to work the touchline, give Scotland a line out. He didn't get very much distance on it. Was there to be anything in it for Scotland?
Well, can they muster something before half-time? Because what a psychological boost it would be to them to get something before hitting the dressing room, given that confidence to go on in the second half.
What a dreadful line out again by Scotland. Squandered the position that they had.
Backfield 5 blue. 5, 6.
Kerr away again. Lamont calls this time, it's his ball. Barge the Englishman out of the way. And laid low. In there foraging is Tim Swinson.
One white.
But yet again, England so swiftly out of the blocks that Scotland, though they have the possession, are effectively going backwards. Duncan Weir, oh, he's found a way through. Farrell's tackle didn't stop him. Break by the out half, now it's Ryan Grant. Laidlaw, almost found a gap, almost found a way through that defensive line. The best that Scotland have managed. All begun by a break by Duncan Weir. Laidlaw, still only at the England 10-metre line, but at least they're going forward. Laidlaw. Weir with a kick towards the wing to Lamont, fielded by Noel, who calls for the mark.
10.
Well, I'm just at a loss as to what
10.
the reasoning behind that was. I mean, Scotland had possession for a number of phases for the first time in the entire match, and they put Weir back in the pocket. He puts up a Gary Owen, and it's easily dealt with by Noel.
This is Hogg now, and up goes his Gary Owen, and Weir chases, and tackle in the air, penalty to England.
In the air.
Well, nothing malicious about it, but rock solid Mike Brown under the ball as always.
In the air.
And you can see him right under that ball, never taking his eye off it. Okay, Duncan Weir did make contact, but he wasn't trying to drive into him in any manner or shape. But when you're kicking to Mike Brown, you better, just like Lee Halfpenny, you just better make sure it's on the button, because if you give him any room at all, he'll run back at you.
5 blue, 5.
From the penalty, a line out to England, almost at halfway, and that good piece of possession that Scotland enjoyed, all over and done with now. Courtney Laws in the back of the line out, taking for England. And England roll them all with Chris Robshaw. And Scotland infringe again. The arm out for advantage to England. And it's a measure of how far behind Scotland are in this game, not only on the scoreboard but in terms of attempting to deal with England, that they're infringing so much.
Well, that's always the evidence, isn't it, for the side that's under the cosh. They're just forced into those penalty concessions, and they just haven't had any momentum or any possession on which to build, really. And evidence of that is the fact that, you know, we've hardly seen Stuart Hogg in the entire match in any threatening way whatsoever.
Stay.
Another straightforward line out, but the Scots have finally got a drive on. As the first half approaches its final minute, but England respond. And suddenly they're free. It seemed a fortunate ricochet. Scotland have something to defend, and the possibility of a turnover here perhaps. And they
No, it's wide.
have succeeded in securing the ball.
5.
Untidily back to Lamont, and an untidy kick from him, and the best that can be said for it is it's in touch and they can regroup.
No, the ball goes out. Play on.
And after the abject performance at the Aviva Stadium last week,
Sorry.
and now this, a performance that was described in the Scottish press as shameful, this isn't much better.
Well, it may be shameful is a bit harsh. I think, you know, at the end of the day, Scotland are just short on a lot of quality and right throughout the team, and it's very difficult when you're in a transition period, perhaps, where those players just aren't there.
On by Dylan Hartley for England. Laidlaw seems to have taken a bang on the shoulder as Owen Farrell gets free. And Farrell looks for the support, and here it is. And they're in for another try. No, what a tackle that was by Lamont. Sean Burrell was in for another try, but can they get it over the line? Scotland desperately defending the last play of the half. Can they keep England out? What a tackle that was by Lamont. Scrum has been called, and there isn't time for it. And my goodness me, how telling could that tackle be by Sean Lamont on Luther Burrell? The difference between 20 points to 0 and 13 points to 0. Scotland still have fingertips on the life belt. Half time in Murrayfield. It's Scotland 0, England 13. For Scotland and their captain Greg Laidlaw, this is a trial and a test through the second half, as Owen Farrell prepares to get the second half underway. Ready to go then. A whistle from the French referee, Jérôme Garcés, and England restart. And Denton doing as he did in the first half, running at England, and immediately winning Scotland a penalty to relieve things at the start.
13 wide.
Well, you would think, George, that it's imperative that Scotland take the first score of the second half to give themselves some impetus and belief, because hanging on just isn't in the script if they're to avoid England doing a big number on them, because that was the way it was looking, certainly in the first half.
6 wide.
Forwards throw, and England disrupted again. Rooney pull up.
Left edge over.
Dylan Hartley. And suddenly they're siding through Scotland again. 12 crease. Johnny May. May once more. And the offload and the impetus still goes, and it's Vunipola once more. Dug out by Wood. Stretched left and then right. And Hogg across to defend. But that was just too far for Jack Noel, and it's in touch and a line out to Scotland.
But again, a huge power play from England, and all too easy, and all coming from Vunipola. As you can see, Hartley feeding him here, and they get the momentum. Burrell gets in behind, and he has Johnny May outside, who does well to step in from Hogg, keeps the momentum and the continuity. But really perhaps a bit overcomplicated, trying to find Noel on the right flank.
Back with Laidlaw. Vunipola coming into it, but not making the contact this time. Hartley shovels it away again, and there was almost a moment when Scotland could have got free, but the ball bounced awkwardly. The moment was gone.
Back feet.
Kerr. Vunipola. And Kerr has the kick to stretch Hogg across, but the angle giving Hogg the chance to return it with interest. And he's reached a position inside the England half, which brings applause from the Scottish crowd.
Well, they've had so little to cheer. And it's a line out.
Substitution. 2 blue.
2 changes
1
for
and
Scotland being made. That didn't last
1
long.
and 2.
Clearly, Scott Johnson
blue.
feeling that the scrum was in trouble. Fresh legs, fresh thought required. Ryan Grant and Ross Ford go off. Ali Dickinson and Scott Lawson come on.
No, stay here. Blue. No, wait. On the mark.
It's 2 minutes into the second half, and already
Time on.
Scott Johnson is bringing the changes. Dylan Hartley so accurate with his throwing. Courtney Law is back, gathered in by Rob Shaw. Contested by Launchbury, but turned over by Hamilton.
Lost now. White.
And Laidlaw. Again, the problem of getting over the game line for Scotland. They're not really going anywhere, but sideways. Ryan Wilson, though, has taken them forward a metre or two. Now it's Laidlaw. And Denton almost inevitably involved in anything positive that Scotland are doing. Involvement for Scott Lawson and Ali Dickinson there. And a better moment of play from Scotland. They had this late in the first half and they squandered it with a kick to the corner. Can they make more of it this time? And certainly those new front row men are playing their part. Laidlaw and ending with a knock on, an unforced error. And just making the point that Scott Lawson and Ali Dickinson were making a difference. Dickinson knocks it on, and it's a scrum to England.
Well, they were making a difference in that they were going route one or bringing their colleagues with them. And just that eye off the ball. And how often does it happen when you desperately most want that pass to stick? It doesn't. And England, they get a reprieve from what was looking like a bit of a build-up in continuity from the Scottish side for the first time in the game.
Well, not much fire being breathed by Scotland so far in this game. This is the best they've had, but enjoy their day out in Murrayfield. But unfortunately, what we've just seen are the Scottish highlights, and they didn't involve the rugby.
Yeah. Keep walking as a first. Keep walking. Positive.
Yeah, clock on again. Scrum to England for the knock on by Dickinson.
Crouch.
Like two stags checking out their antlers.
Sit.
England being wheeled, and then the scrum collapsed. They'll do it all over again, and a little bit of unhappiness there. Let's hope it wasn't sparked by the loss of the hat. Tom Woods was the hat in question.
Please, come on.
We've heard quibbles about handbags, that was a quibble about a hat.
Number 5 white.
Courtney Law is being brought to one side.
Come with me.
Deemed to be the aggressor there, and Ryan Wilson.
No, it's okay.
And the two captains.
Just the two players.
See what he says.
Keep your self-control after my whistle. Okay? Are you fine? Perfect. Perfect? Yeah. Play on.
Not much ado about nothing really, but the scrum in a shambles there. And, Wilson decides he wants Tom Woods' scrum cap, and it all took off from there.
Head against head. It was point in the first half. No engage, sir. Thank you. Mark is here. Yes, thank you.
Calm refereeing, no histrionics from Jérôme Garcés.
Open your shoulder.
And
Leave the space.
in it'll go again.
Good space. Don't change. Crouch. Yes,
Well, it's meant to do away with those car crashes that scrums used to involve, with crouch, touch, pause and engage. Wham!
Stable.
This is meant to make it tidier, but the surface isn't helping either. McMaggott is having his part to play. Parasitical worm that has ruined the sod.
Well, the worm is getting some baptism this afternoon from the English and Scottish packs.
Bind. Set.
New pitch to be laid at the end of the season. Scottish front row penalised there.
Bring your legs forward. Let's chase. 3.
Maury Lowe, the man at fault. And England's penalty goes into touch. Their line-out will be 5 metres, 6 metres inside the Scottish half.
Well, last week in Paris, in the second half, England had decidedly picked up the tempo and pace in that second half, and really had France in all sorts of trouble for long portions, and that's what they need to do here to try and rise above the mediocrity and the drudgery of these scrum.
It's Billy 12 threes now, and a line-out that was won by Tom Wood. Through the hands to Vunipola. Dylan Hartley joins in. Launchbury as well, back out again. England to stretch the Scots. Johnny May has found a way. Johnny May. And eventually, a combination of Hogg and Seymour put him down. Danny Kerr for Farrell. Farrell's flat pass now to Noel. Kerr, the old-fashioned way, Rob Shaw. Now to McBrown. Kerr. Bounced out of the arms of Luther Burrell. But England get the advantage. Scotland knocked it on, and it'll go back for a scrum.
Push the ball.
Well, it was a great line break from Johnny May, again dancing in field with no room on the outside flank, and made fantastic ground and just couldn't get the offload, but the ball so slow coming back from the ruck time then, with Scotland desperately trying to slow that ball down, and eventually they were able to reset their defensive line. But still England in a very strong position here. The scrum was always coming, and that's why Noel went for the chip over the top. Not the best kick, but still a great attacking position.
Keep working.
Johnny May, nose looking a bit bloodied after what it went through last week.
Bind.
Another bang on it there from the tackle by Alex van Baar. Oh dear, Scotland do it again. Under such pressure in the scrum.
3.
Down they go, and it's going to be a penalty to England.
Well, they were under fierce pressure in the scrum again last week with Ireland, but you know, if you don't have the platform of a set piece, you really are on the backward foot, and Farrell just looking for a bit of solid ground amongst the chunks of sod that have been churned up from endless scrums.
The same gap that we used during the first half. We are sometimes big up or sometimes too close.
Well, it's been an attritional kind of fixture over the years. Just a single try in it in the last 4 meetings here before today. And it's turned out to be attritional again, but England having had the upper hand, having scored first just 6 minutes in with Danny Kerr's drop goal. This is a 5th attempted goal by Owen Farrell. Been successful for the 3rd time. And England's lead has not been stretched. It seemed to be on its way. Better struck kick that time, but 13-0 it remains, and that is I suppose, symptomatic of the type of game it is.
Well, it's 13. It's keeping Scotland in it to a point, but I mean, England should be well out of sight at this stage.
A 40% success ratio with the boot from Owen Farrell is not good. Here's May. This is a chance. May through the tackle of Hogg. Stopped at the death by Alex Dunbar, but that's the line. Scotland scrabbling and giving away the penalty, and the cards coming out.
Well, it had to come, George. I mean, ruck after ruck, when England are on the cusp of just getting that ball out quickly, there's a hand glomming at it at every second ruck.
Sorry,
and
number
it had
6.
to come.
13.
Sean Lamont, I should say Alex Dunbar's tackle. He gets the yellow card. And this gives England the chance to pull away.
Well, they've gone to the corner and they're going to the line out again, and that's the right decision. But what an offload there from Vunipola, and taken on by Mike Brown. And just when you get in behind, it's so difficult.
Another last-ditch tackle, but this time one that earned a yellow card for Alex Dunbar.
Once!
Kerr. It's the chance for England to make their numerical superiority pay. Kerr again. Through the middle, tries to burrow Burrell. Now Launchbury. Scotland hold them up once more, but it's Kerr again. Farrell seeking a gap. Kerr.
Sorry.
And Brown.
6 blue!
Vunipola joins in, Hartley too. Kerr. And this now is Joe Marler. Kerr, relentless from England. May stopped. Kerr.
Play on!
Ball loose, but gathered in once more by England, by Hartley this time. Look at the strength to get back to his feet and move it forward again.
Did well, George. Keeps the momentum going.
Release blue!
Well,
6. Hand in the ruck.
hand in the ruck, Ryan Wilson, and England get the penalty, and they opted for the scrum. Shake of the head. No, they've gone for the kick. They'll take the line out instead. Now there, I tell you, 12 penalties. It seems like more, but Scotland have conceded. The pressure they've been under has been immense.
Well, with the pressure now that England are building, they really need to be more clinic in their execution. They have Scotland right on the rack here, and they really should be putting them away. As Denton makes way.
Well, he has given it everything. He's been taking the challenge to England, but there's been no reward for him, and so he's off. And John Beattie comes on in his place. Applause from the crowd for Denton. He acknowledges that, but it's been a bit of a one-man show from him, really. And Hartley throws, and Wood takes, and May gathers, and Laidlaw tackles. England retain the possession. Rob Shaw. Tackle there by Weir, and whistle goes again. Once again, Scotland hold on.
Well, he's right. I mean, England holding on there, isolated.
No. 15. Calm down.
On a rare occasion that England have conceded a penalty, and
First man, number
given
4
to
on his feet.
Duncan Weir.
Win the contest.
Dylan Hartley to the release, and Duncan Weir spirals it towards the touchline, and it's a line out to Scotland. New hooker Scott Lawson.
Number.
The 14 men of Scotland carry on. Again, the line out is a disaster zone. England taking the full advantage.
Play on!
For once, Scotland have got their dander up, and Jim Hamilton leads the way. And Laidlaw kicking over the top. And the chase is on. Tommy Seymour comes up. And May gives it to Brown. And England run from behind their own line, in fact. Now it's Hogg to try and counter-attack. Tackled by Farrell. Laidlaw. Lawson. Laidlaw. And now it's Lamont. Laidlaw. Lawson. And Laidlaw. And the kick. And again, they've wasted momentum by planting a kick too deep into the English 22, where the mark is called and the momentum is gone. And look at the body language of Scott Johnson.
Well, you know, in the crowd as well, frustration for them to watch, the groans coming from them, seeing Scotland trying to muster a bit of dander, and then just to kick the ball away and let England relieve pressure as they do with a fine relieving kick, and they've just got to close in defence.
Scotland attempt to come again. Brown is stepping away from the challenge and then putting the foot down and scything through the tackles, and Hogg it is who has to put him down, but by then he'd made 40 metres and England still motoring. 12 threes, stopped by Hamilton. Farrell. Well, there's nobody chasing this one up. Farrell had it measured. They didn't need to. They've got a line out to Scotland, but they're back in the Scottish 22.
Well, they're exactly where they want to be, and you could see his full-back was down injured as well, so short numbers, but great counter-attack here by Mike Brown. Steps Hogg, who's very, very quick himself, but goes for it from here and not happy to take the tackle. He's looking for the space at all times, and if some of his colleagues had the same control on the ball as this guy does, well, some of the passes might have yielded more in terms of tries, but great counter-attacking there from the full-back.
More fun to be had with your back to the pitch if you're a spectator wearing Scottish colours, it would appear. It's been pretty terrible. Will this have any effect on those down on the pitch? They need something. Line out to Scotland then, deep in their 22. That's what's coming next. Say they're smiling in adversity. Lawson's throw, Jim Hamilton's take.
No end on the ball.
Ransbury extracts himself. And Laidlaw goes for the kick again. From inside the 22, that was fine. Straight into touch. Noel wanted to throw it quickly. Scotland were up quick, so more conventional line-out will follow.
No, stay. Number 5. Yeah, but stay on the mark. Gap.
Courtney Laws working like clockwork, the English line out. 12 threes. Farrell, Brown. Now Noel chose not to get the pass away. Kerr. 12 threes. Scotland having to defend as best they can. All the way, and now Brown, and they're in for another try. Mike Brown gets the second, and England go out to 18.
Well, they eventually break the duck, and probably the most unlikely channel it came from, because it was from a static position and it was on the short side. It looked like Scotland had the numbers, they had defended well, but a bit of fancy footwork from Jack Noel eventually yields the dividends. Danny Kerr keeping it alive, but here just dances and gets away. But a lovely pass, and Mike Brown, aware that the support needed to be there. He was there. He gets the reward, and England, well, it only represents what on the scoreboard, the nature of their domination. And Mike Brown, he'll be happy with that. But with 20 minutes to go, England pushing it out now, and you would expect Farrell to slot this to make it 20 points to nil, and no more than they deserve by sheer dominance. But they've gone the long way about it in terms of trying to find those 5-pointers.
3 out of 6 then for Owen Farrell. 20 points to nil, England now lead. Mike Brown in for his second international try.
Well, it'll be interesting now to see, will England absolutely go for the juggler here and not try and sit in the comfort zone. Okay, it's their second away match in succession, and they needed desperately to get the win after getting caught in Paris last week. But you know, their first home game is coming up in a couple of weeks against Ireland, who are flying at the top of the championship table at the moment, and England will want to make sure that they finish strongly here to send a message across the Irish Sea.
Away there by Danny Kerr. Didn't go forward from Farrell.
Turn of a ball.
England attempt to come again. Scotland still with 14 men. A couple of minutes to go before the return of Alex Dunbar. Johnny May a bit isolated there. Hartley made sure that there would be no further threat. And here goes Brown again. Well, that's gone forward. Advantage to England via scrum.
Well, and it was a knock-on. It wasn't a deliberate knockdown by Stuart Hogg. He was looking for the intercept to go the length of the pitch in the other direction, but England just that pass away from crossing the whitewash again. But England showing a bit of ambition, of course, with the comfort of the 20-point lead now. But Burrell was there again in support, and Mike Brown, well, he's featured in a lot of good things England have done. And Hogg just trying to get his hands on that ball to get away.
England's 2 try scorers from Paris last week have done it again in Murrayfield. First it was Burrell, and now it's Mike Brown. And that's what the Scottish coach thinks about it.
Scott Johnson keeping his emotions in check.
Well, one Scottish rugby fan put it like this: he dropped his captain right out of the squad after last week in Dublin. It's either going to go spectacularly right or spectacularly wrong. I think it's gone spectacularly wrong for Scotland today. If it was ever going to be right, it needed something much different to what they've been able to deliver.
Well, that decision can't have helped the morale in the camp. I mean, the players must have been looking at each other when that news broke, and hard to pick it up in the space of 5 days to try and take on board all that the new captaincy and new regime might demand. But Scotland, well, they're looking down the barrel of the gun here now.
Dunbar awaits his moment to return, having stayed loose and limber on the bike.
Use it, use it, use it.
Through the hands there of Courtney Lord, but England still managing to retain the possession, but illegally so on this occasion by not releasing.
Oh, five. I'm not sure. You win the contest.
Substitution for England. Okay. Joe Launchbury's coming off to be replaced by Dave Atwood.
Sorry.
And Alex Dunbar is back. Scotland at full strength now.
Time off. Time on.
The Bath second row now joins the fray.
Sorry.
And Scotland's penalty brings play back inside the English half.
I must stay in the opposite side, okay?
But what an awful Six Nations so far it's been for Scotland. 2 penalties, all they had to show for it at Dublin last week, and not a single point on the board this afternoon. Dark Edinburgh night awaits, a night of recrimination. 20 points to nil behind. into the final quarter of the game. And Jim Hamilton at the tail of the line, winning it for Scotland.
Back feet.
Laidlaw.
Too wide. Okay.
It's Laidlaw again. On by Dickinson. Laidlaw. Pissarro pushing forward. Laidlaw. Weir. Lamont came in from the wing. Dunbar involved. And Laidlaw once more. Lawson, replacement hooker. Laidlaw. Ryan Wilson knocked backwards, but Scotland still with the ball. But still not really going anywhere. England's defensive line holding firm. Lamont presenting it. Laidlaw once more. Duncan Weir. Running forward is now John Beattie. Managed to break a couple of tackles. Laidlaw on the short side. But that was always the likely outcome, sad to say. 12 phases. Eventually Lamont ends up in touch.
Well, 12 phases and only Beattie looking like breaking that line, and England were happy to leave Scotland have possession.
Time off.
Trust their defence, which they did comfortably.
Break.
Tommy Seymour, who got the nod ahead of Max Evans to replace the injured Sean Maitland, finally comes on.
9 blue.
Tommy Seymour goes off.
Yeah, 9 blue. Who is the captain?
And
21.
Chris Cussiter comes on in place of Scotland's captain Greg Laidlaw.
One white. Good work.
The older Vunipola brother Mako comes on in place of Joe Marlin.
Now open the gap. Open the gap. Time on.
Hartley. Atwood took it.
Maul.
They come again.
Advantage over.
Forward by Brown. And they come back into the Scottish 22. And eventually Hogg can touch it down and resume with the 22. Must apologise for the oral interference here. It's just a question of several thousand people in close proximity, and not everybody has turned off their mobile phone, so clearly there's not much we can do about it if we're in such close proximity to the crowd. I hope it doesn't spoil your enjoyment too much. But the common position in Murrayfield is right in the stand, right in among the spectators, who no doubt are taking pictures and sending texts. The texts from the Scottish fans, I'm sure, aren't being very welcome to those who are receiving them, telling a tale of woe from Murrayfield as England come again.
No hands.
Now, Vunipola, Mako, just on the pitch. Courtney Laws.
Last blue.
Johnny May. Really pacey England attack again. As Scotland are ponderous, England deliver power and precision. Rob Shaw shoveling it back to Brown. Now 12 trees. Atwood joining in. Back with Farrell. Lob pass here to Johnny May, back inside to Courtney Laws, and they managed to bring him down, but England have Scotland really stretched again.
No hands, blue! Play on.
This is Dan Cole, and that's the Scottish 5-metre line. The try line awaits. England seeking a third try. Advantage called. That's touched down by Chris Cussiter, but Scotland were caught offside. It's a penalty to England.
Off your feet.
Well, they'll surely either take scrum here now or line out.
Off your feet and offside. It's not necessary.
Moment's respite and attention required for a wounded Scottish soldier. Ryan Wilson picking himself up, and England opting for the scrum.
3 blue.
Murray Lowe leaves the front row for Scotland, and Jeff Cross, the veteran Edinburgh prop, comes on in his place. The rain descends on Midlothian. Scottish skies weep for a dismal performance. 20 points to 0, little over 10 minutes to go. Courtney Laws again king of the line out. And England heave towards that line. Advantage again to England. Scotland's defence so desperate they're infringing all the time.
Well, England should go again now because there's a penalty try coming here shortly.
Sorry, captain, 5 blue, you collapse. Captain, 21, where's the captain?
Chris Cussiter, the replacement captain now that Greg Laidlaw's off. Listen to this.
We must find another solution. We collapse the mall, okay, no more.
Find another solution, that's the last thing Chris Cussiter wants to be told. They don't have one.
Well, they've been looking for solutions all afternoon, and they're just not there, and England going for it here.
6!
Sure, Farrell won't be getting this ball.
England again control the line out and drive for that line once more. Taken on by Vulipola, the prop, Mako, and inching ever closer. Joan Garces has had a good look. Scotland look, and Scotland eventually get the decision.
We win the contest.
Chris Robshaw doesn't agree.
Well, they were right under the cosh there, and just
Number
question
2.
how they got it back legally there, Scotland.
Well, Dylan Hartley has shown this afternoon the quality
8.
of throwing that's required in the line-outs, and England have dominated in that area. He's going now.
5
2
blue.
weeks' time he'll face men in green. For the remainder of this game, it'll be Tom Youngs in the hooker position for England.
Johnny Gray making his entrance also, George, who made the matchday squad ahead of his brother Richie, quite surprisingly in some quarters. But at 20-0 down, hardly going to turn the tide.
Time on. Very easy out.
Johnny Gray, 19-year-old Glasgow on in place of Jim Hamilton. It's showing the effects of a thankless battle that he's had.
Bind.
The Scottish put in.
Yes.
England has swept the Scottish back row. Desperate defence by Scotland.
Lord now.
Then managed to retain the possession. Duncan Weir picks it out, but they're in dire straits right on their line now. Scotland attempting to find a solution to get out of here, and Cussiter
Use it.
decides that a kick will be best. And that's kept in play by Johnny May, and that's a very unusual attempt at a pass. But England still have the ball. The other wing, Jack Noel. And Scotland get the scrum. The ball went forward. And I suppose now, with just under 10 minutes to go, Scotland will be happy that
The ball is available.
it's not heading for a scoreline of record proportions, because it's been a defeat of record proportions in every department. They've been outplayed.
Well, they just, you just wonder where do Scotland go next. They have away trips to Rome and Cardiff, and host France here, of course, who may well at that stage be chasing their own dreams of a championship, if not Grand Slam.
Alex Goods on. Johnny May has departed.
Well, he's had a fine game, and Mike Brown goes to the left wing, Good into full back as they did last week.
Ball form.
England get the scrum.
By blue scrum right. 7. Sorry.
And another change for Scotland sees the withdrawal of Matt Scott and the introduction of Duncan Taylor. Taylor, who was passed over in favour of Matt Scott in the starting lineup, but now making his entrance when the cause is well and truly lost. Cossiter just would love the opportunity to get at that, but England controlling it. The face of this scrum, and Scotland eventually can defend no more. And the penalty called once again. And at 20 points to 0 in front, Owen Farrell looks to the corner to just put a little bit more pressure on Scotland. Just that. The afternoon has become an evening of despair for Scottish rugby fans.
Advantage blue.
And Scotland get the advantage from the untidy line out.
No advantage. Look on.
Suppose this, last year it was a 20-point margin, but Scotland had conceded 38 points by the end of it at Twickenham. Well, this time they haven't managed to score, but England, quite possibly due to the profligacy of Owen Farrell, have not been as dominant on the scoreboard as they might have been. Lee Dixon comes on for Danny Kerr at scrum half for the concluding moments.
Well, at least this week, George, England have left the calling ashore of Danny Kerr until the game was well and truly won. Took him off a bit prematurely last week and paid the price, perhaps. But England, well, they'll be delighted, of course, with a 20-0 scoreline, but they'll be less than happy with the sloppy nature of their play at times, particularly in the second half, when they had Scotland on the rack and just their execution was poor.
2 weeks to work on that before Ireland arrive in Twickenham.
6 blue.
Cossiter away. Thankless task really coming on in place of the captain Laidlaw taking over the captaincy for the last part of the game, when it was well and truly lost. And look at that, in terms of the percentage of where the action was, 3% spent inside the England 22. Scotland have not been at the races in the second half at all. For all the phases they went through on several occasions, they never really made progress into an area where they could threaten the English line, never once. And that's been a real failure in this game. If it's nothing, England have had lots and haven't really done as much as they might have, and here they come again. The final pass though to Jack Noel, just not good enough.
21! 21, 21, 21. Leave it, leave it.
Final English substitution about to be made. Henry Thomas of Sale comes on, and Dan Cole comes off. The front row has been completely recast. Thomas on for his third cap for England at the age of 22. And for the future, as the 26-year-old Cole makes way. Now the replacement hooker, Tom Youngs, prepares to throw. Well, not having the success with his darts as Dylan Hartley did. But at this stage, it's not a matter of great concern to England. Scotland try to be brave from their own 22, and that just about sums up their afternoon.
Well, Stuart Hoggy throws his hands in the air there as if to say, you know, why couldn't you just float that pass in front of me? And the call's mixed up and they can't get out of their 22. Well, England turning on the power through the substitutions as well. And as always with England, if you're going to beat England, you've got to compete with them up front, as always. And that's what Ireland will be looking to next week or in 2 weeks' time as the starting point for anything else.
And England heaving on. Lee Dixon, the scrum half, joining in. The Scotland line appears again. Courtney Laws with ball in hand, and away they go again. Dixon almost there. England just short of that Scottish line and retaining control. Desperate defence from Scotland to try and prevent the third try. Dixon, the pass is out, and they'll try and do it wide. And Scotland, having had to defend that in energy-sapping fashion, now have to stretch across. And Dixon claiming he's been impeded. And advantages to England. But here goes Farrell. And advantage will come back.
Well, it's brave defence from Scotland. They are putting their bodies on the line desperately, trying to keep England out and keeping it at 20. And by hook or by crook, they're achieving it so far. And it's very difficult to defend like that, tackle after tackle, when you know the prospect of a reward at the other end, or even at the end of the match, is gone. And to continue putting the bodies on the line, very difficult.
Let's go then. Ninja! Ninja!
At this stage, you feel Scotland would welcome a final whistle. Bring to an end what's been a pretty humiliating experience, as England have got their show back on the road.
Go.
Man of the match, Mike Brown. Second try after his opener for England at France last week.
Well, it's deserved, George. I thought he was the outstanding player for England, composed at all time, always seems to do the right thing, and a threat from full-back, counter-attacking, brilliant throughout.
Dixon, Farrell, seeking one last flourish. Dixon, Farrell, Laws. Scotland defending manfully to the end to keep it to 20 points if they can.
Option. Captain, scrum or line out?
It hardly counts as much of an achievement, and given that Owen Farrell Not only a 50% success rate with his kicking, it's a measure of how better it might have been for England on the scoreboard. But Stuart Lancaster will be happy that at least there isn't another defeat, which would really have derailed their championship. No Grand Slam this year. Amazing, England haven't managed a Grand Slam since 2003, their World Cup year. There won't be one this year after Paris last week. There might be a Triple Crown of the Championship still. They feel they've got things going in the right direction now in the 2 weeks to fine-tune what game plan they'll want to bring against Ireland. And this will surely be the end for Scotland. Duncan Weir puts it into touch, and the final whistle sounds, and England have won, and won comprehensively.
Well, they've won comprehensively, but I think definitely the coaching staff won't be happy with the way they played in the second half, the accuracy that they executed, and they'll have a lot to build on before facing Ireland, but certainly they'll be delighted to get Ireland back at home for their first home game of the championship.
Yes, they went ahead early after Farrell missed the penalty with a drop goal from Danny Kerr, his second in successive weeks, and second successive tries then for Luther Burrell and for Mike Brown. Created the platform for the victory, but poor kicking by Owen Farrell, just 2 conversions and a penalty from 6 attempts at goal, meant the scoreboard didn't show as good a result as it might have for England. They've won, they're back on the road, and the final score in Murrayfield is Scotland 0, England 20.